Episode 48.
Welcome to Into the 99, where we have 99 cards because Commander's number 1. I'm your host, Brian.
I'm Hope.
I'm Daniel.
Today it is Salt Cards 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, that was named by someone in our Discord, and made me laugh real hard.
Represent.
We had a lot of salty cards left, and we wanted to finish the list off with Brian here, so we're actually going to let Brian
so I can defend myself?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing, Brian.
Brian was under attack.
We tease because we love.
Yeah.
And also because you deserve it.
Yeah, it was so funny just listening to it and then having people in our Discord community go, "Oh, Brian, your name was dropped a lot."
30 minutes in and you've already been called out 14 times.
It's like he's still here with us.
Yeah. It's like he's never left.
So today, the card that we'll be starting off with is Mana Drain.
Very appropriate
If
begin.
If Mana Drain was more affordable, it would be in so many decks.
It is so expensive. In Canada, it's like $200.
What do you mean not affordable? It's only $160.
Yeah.
American.
But why is it $160 American dollars?
Yeah, so it's blue, and it is an instant coming in at what is a mythic rare, and it is counter target spell at the beginning of your next main phase. Add an amount of colorless to your mana pool equal to the spell's converted mana cost. If you're countering something ridiculous, like I want to finish this game off, and I'm gonna do the black card with X.
Tormented Hellfire?
Yes.
Well, not only
do this for 20.
Not only that, let's say that you're hitting all of your land drops. You went second. You have 2 mana out for your counter spell, and you hit your third land drop. You go into turn 3 with 6 mana if you counter one of their 3 cost spells already. Like
that puts you really far
Yeah, it's
ahead.
A very strong card. That's enough to cast nearly every commander that you'll see in games.
It's an extremely good early game card. It's an extremely good late game card. It's just an extremely good card in game anytime.
Well, it shuts so much down, right?
Yeah, it's intense.
Especially
to say
if
the least.
First player's ramping and they go to cast their 5-drop on turn 3 or
Oh,
something.
they go to cast Golos to try color fix or something, and then they just get that shut right down.
Yeah.
Lose 5 mana, don't get the colors they need.
And then they're trying to cast him at 7. Like, it really screws them, which is brutal.
I saw Golos turn 2. It was terrifying.
What, Mana Vault, Mana Soul Ring? Yeah. Or Mana Crypt? Which one's the 3? Whatever.
It was one of them, and I was just like, oh.
It's colorless.
I was like, I thought we were playing EDH, not CEDH.
This is a fast Golos?
Well, it's colorless. Pretty easy. It's got to Golos fast.
Well, I only had one. At the time that we were playing, I had no Mana Vaults or Mana Crypts or anything like that, and he's dropping it. I was like, oh
You're like,
wow.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Over here with basic lands and nothing else.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
I can definitely see why people are upset about this card, because no one likes to be counterspelled, but to be counterspelled and then have them take your mana is harsh.
It is a huge disadvantage, to say the least.
Well, and every time I like to do that, I aim the Cycrifs, overloaded Cycrifs, go into my turn with 7 mana. Oh yeah,
that'd be nice.
Feels good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about that at all.
Yeah.
So,
the next one we have.
You had experience with salting someone with this.
Yeah,
or one of your brothers did.
This one was a good one. We did definitely see somebody get upset about this card.
Here's my... it's Blood Moon.
It is Blood Moon, yeah.
Which is 2 in a red, and it makes all non-basic lands mountains.
First off, it's hilarious.
It is funny. But also, it's interactable.
Yep.
And it's not like you're losing your mana. It's not like
we ended
before.
with back to basics.
I was just going to say, we ended with back to basics on the last episode, which makes it so that your non-basic lands do not untap. Cannot use
rough.
them. Whereas this, sure, they're not what you want. They're not the color fixing that you're looking for, but they're still usable mana. You just have to look at them as colorless.
In honesty, I've never really seen a problem with this card, just like I didn't see a problem with Iona, because to me it comes as it's a politics tool now. It's hey, if you can get rid of this, I can help you late game. I won't swing at you late game. It's a chance to interact. That's EDH is about that interaction, right? You shouldn't be trying to solve every problem on your own unless you're playing on your own.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is for me at least, so many decks. If you have non-basics, you're in a multicolor deck. So many multicolor decks might have a little splash of red, and if they don't, you should have options for enchantment destruction. You should have ways to deal with a card like this. It's not that powerful. It's not hexproof. It's not indestructible. It's not anything that makes it a huge issue. It's just annoying.
But what's the one thing that we always say?
What?
People don't typically run so much removal.
Well, they should.
They should
really
run more.
You should have an answer to your problem.
I think I try to at least have like 3 enchantment or artifact removals per deck.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to have.
You should have an answer to your problem.
The other thing, too, is if you're seeing cards like this and they're wrecking your playstyle, don't get upset. Don't pick up and leave. Take it as an experience to learn. There is obviously an issue in your deck. If one enchantment can just destroy your deck, it's time to reevaluate. Yeah, exactly. Time to relook at it. And there's going to be nothing wrong with that. You're going to just come out with a better deck overall, I'd say.
Yeah. I think that any of these salt cards, for the most part, are, with the exception of things like, I don't know, like Stasis, you know.
Stacks.
Well,
it's an opportunity to like think about how you can build better, you know.
In honesty as well, cards like this are a bulwark against like people who come out with a lot of expensive stuff. Like they come out, they have dual lands, everything like that. You're at least able to slow them down a little bit. There's some of these salty cards are needed to compete against some of the deck styles that rely on things.
And you're also hilariously coming out with a mono red deck or something and just absolutely annihilating. So funny.
You just really want to wreck my Dread Presence so I can never landfall swamps.
So funny.
And we always mention that there's not one deck that beats all decks.
Yeah, like, that's my favorite part about Magic. I have decks that stomp tables and then just lose to just silly things.
Yeah, there's no
be all.
Yes, exactly. There are like, sure, there's like tiers, but like you can have like a super like highly competitive deck that like just doesn't have a way to deal with what you would consider like a 5.
Yeah, one of the people that plays mostly competitive in our play group, when he sits down and plays with us, he plays a Corvold deck. And he just doesn't really have answers to a lot of the not competitive kind of things. If somebody removes a combo piece, he can't deal with the 1/1 weenies that are swinging at him.
Because it doesn't happen in competitive.
Yeah.
So, like, looking at it, like, you're not prepared for that because it's not your meta, you know? And again, like, you can adjust to your meta, so.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of competitive, do we have a competitive card next?
Do we?
Number 1. This is one of my favorite cards.
Can I get
in Magic. One of my absolute favorite cards, and I have a collection of them.
It's true.
I have a lot of these. It's Food Chain, and I also have the Judge promo. Oh, the Judge promo I think is the nicest art in Magic.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's real nice.
I would highly recommend looking it up.
Food Chain is 2 and a green for an enchantment. Remove a creature you control from the game. Add X mana of any color to your pool, where X is the remove creature CMC +1. You can only use it for creature spells.
Yeah.
So it is like a CEDH finisher. When you want your commander to continuously come out, you cast something like Squee, where you can cast him from exile, and you exile him. He's 3 mana. He comes back, but he gives you 4. You cast him. You just
and you just continuously
you net
do it.
infinite mana.
Oof.
Yeah, Food Chain is you don't really see it unless it's for that play style.
Yeah,
it is. I have never seen it outside of competitive play.
Yeah, I've never seen it played casually.
The exception of a Prime Speaker Vanifer deck.
The only time I've ever seen it play is when you're playing your
Prosh,
yeah.
That's the only time.
The next card as well is another CEDH staple for everyone. It's Protean Hulk.
Too bad its second part got removed and banned.
Yeah, Flash was such a... they had to answer it somehow, but Protean Hulk's 5 green. When it dies, you can search your... It's a 6/6 as well. It's a creature. When it dies, search your library for any number of creatures with total CMC 6 or less and put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So it's another combo piece that's used to fetch your win.
Yep. Yeah.
So the next one is one that, from listening to the first part, anything to do with this type of style of play salts most people.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, this one's pretty not nice.
And this would be Tectonic Breach. It is X and red. It is a sorcery. And each player sacrifices X lands.
Let's recognize that it's a sacrifice.
That feels bad.
That hurts.
And you yourself have to... which land do I...
For a lot of people, you'd play this in a... Not that I would give anyone ideas of how
if you have like a Smothering Tithe or something. Or
how to wreck your...
Brian.
how to wreck your play group. But this is generally in a Klothys deck, where you run things like Storm Cauldron, which is whenever you tap a land, you pick it up.
Oh, nice.
And
so you have no lands.
You wait till people are tapped out, you get that into play, you tap it all, and then you play something like Mana Bond, where you just discard your hand at the end step and put all your lands back into play. And then no one likes to play with you. So
everyone just stands up and walks away.
Brian writing down the cards that he needs for this. He's like, Mana Bond?
Which commander did you say this?
I really want to like just talk about that. Like I wanted to make Klothys so bad because I think it's such a cool design.
I know you got it. You got the card, and you're.
I
just
have
like,
both. I have the Constellation and I have the normal one, and I was like, this is like a cool thing. And I started. Well, I like them.
I have a huge collection.
I started putting the deck together, and I was like, "There's no way anyone's gonna play with this. Like,
no,
it's just gonna upset people." I was like, "It's time to shelve this until someone I hate comes."
I feel like there's just like no way to play that. And not be the worst.
I bring that a full counterspell deck, and then like Massacre Girl for my decks for the night.
Ew.
Oh.
I wouldn't play with you.
Yeah.
I would just be like, yeah, good game, and I'd get up and walk away.
I start getting emails. Hey, the store's closed tonight.
You see Daniel sitting, he has all three of his decks lined up, like, and he just plays one hand, sits into the next chair, plays the next hand, sits into the next chair.
You know what? That's not true. I would go sit down and play with him.
Oh, thanks.
I appreciate it. I love that.
And tell him he's special.
I love it.
This next one, I don't actually know why it's a salt card.
Because you can cheat it out.
But my thing is, I think its cost justifies it. Enchantments are significantly harder to cheat out than...
So do I. I also think that, but I think that's... I'm not saying that I stand by the decision for it to be salty. I'm saying that I understand why other people might have it.
Omniscience.
The only time that I've seen this played, so it's Omniscience, it's 7, blue, is...
When I've lost already.
Well, no, everyone that I've played against hard casts it.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen it get cheated out. Maybe once.
Yeah, but 7 mana and 3 blue.
Yeah, so 10 total. So this is an enchantment, and it reads, you may cast from your hand... you can cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. So yay, everything is free.
But another thing to consider is that 10 mana is a lot.
Yes.
Yep.
10 mana should have a big effect.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you think of things that are like... I complain about Cycriff because it's 7 mana and it's a full board reset. This is 3 turns past that.
It's not a full board reset.
It's a full board reset for everyone else.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a 75% board reset, I should say.
Yes.
Yep. And then you swing and you take the win.
This is a good one, but
good man.
In general, like, again, you have to have so many other pieces to make this work. It can't really interact with your commander because it's not generating you mana. And it's not drawing you cards. So at a certain point, you're going to run out. You have to have already generated the ability to have a full hand. Like,
no max hand size.
Yeah.
All these cards.
Yeah. And again, it can't interact with your commander. You can't cast your commander with Omniscience.
No. Then mana drain someone's 12 casting commander because you've killed it so many times. And I can play this and still have 2 mana left over.
Contamination is the next one, and I understand entirely why Contamination is on the list.
I've only heard rumors of this card of people going, contaminate the board.
I've heard
Contamination is, again, it's another card that a lot of competitive players play because they're bad people. It's hilarious.
This is also
I'm this bad people.
This is also, again, another instance of Urza Saga coming back to haunt us.
I was going to say, like, Urza Saga is just the list.
Urza Saga was a nasty set.
Urza Saga is amazing. I love that set.
Yeah, it's a good set.
This is an enchantment for 2 and black, so let's keep in mind that Zur the Enchanter can fetch this out when he swings.
Zur the Enchanter.
During your upkeep, sack a creature or sack Contamination. Whenever a land is tapped for mana, it produces 1 black instead of its normal type and amount.
Oh, I need this.
Yeah. It is brutal.
What, and especially
Yawgmoth? In Yawgmoth, you're already sacking creatures anyways.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I would love to see you put it in Yawgmoth. I think that'd be hilarious.
It's really
but
good in Marin too.
Oh, it's the one that searches, right?
Yeah, because I need to sack anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good one, and it locks a lot of people out of the game if they don't have
that
black.
Would be hilarious.
Yeah, and my favorite part about it is it's not just type, it's amount. So like if you're playing against like a group hug kind of thing, like anyone who's played with my Kenrith deck or seen me stream with it.
All of a sudden
I like to have Heartbeat of Spring out, Mana Flare, all that stuff. This doesn't care. This makes it all tap for 1 black.
Would this override, say, something like the Dryad of the Elysian Grove, where they can use it for any color?
Yeah, because it's
type and amount.
And it would be the same with Chromatic Lantern, because you can tap it for any color, but when it's tapped for mana, it produces that instead. So it replaces it.
Oh.
Yeah, it is a replacement effect.
It's a really cool card.
Saltier decks coming to you guys.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Edh Recs.
Yeah.
Contamination. Really just put your play group in a good mood.
Ew.
Drop it on turn 2 and let's just get it going.
Oh, we haven't even... Oh, so this has a salt score of 1.97.
Yeah,
Is that a 5?
No, I think 2 or I think 3 is the top. I don't know.
So it's halfway.
Yeah, these get less salty. We started at the saltiest last week.
That card will add great flavor.
Yeah, these are all now just better cards, like Possessed Portal, an 8-cost artifact. If a player would draw a card, they skip that draw instead. At the beginning of each turn, each player sacks a permanent unless they discard a card from their hand.
How do you get cards then?
You don't. You have to wait till the Possessed Portal player sacks the Possessed Portal or destroy it.
Hey.
A great discard deck card.
Oh, so that would go perfect in Tiny Bones.
Yeah, it would be.
Don't make that face at me.
The next one, I don't think it's the best meme card. This is Brian in a nutshell.
Why is this on here? So the one that I'm kind of surprised about is Rhystic Study. So 2 and a blue, and whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays one. So what are people just getting salty that?
I was going to say they're salty. Yeah, they're salty.
Yeah, I don't think they're salty about the card. I think they're salty about the player.
Yeah, the fact that you suddenly start playing with a parrot.
So since when did annoyance become
Well, I was just going to note that this did get reprinted in Jumpstart, and I was playing Jumpstart with my boss, and he pulled the Rhystic Study, and as soon as he played it, and I was like, don't ask me. I'm never going to pay it. Just draw the card. I don't want to hear it. Ever.
Take your bribe and leave.
Just take the win.
Reprinted in double masters too?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I love this card. Like I actually just picked up 2 heavily played ones for I think $6 a piece.
Yeah, what the hell?
Heavily played binder. Get in there, guys.
Oh, I love it. I love a super used card.
Yeah, we all
the
play
more
in
damage,
sleeves.
the better. I want the cheaper card.
Yeah. The dog dish special, as I call it.
Mm-hmm. I want it to look like somebody ran over it with a lawnmower.
Oh,
maybe not quite.
Give it to me cheap, baby.
I gotta tape it back together.
The next one is pretty mean. It's Global Rune. 4 and a white for a sorcery. Each player chooses from the lands he or she controls a land of each basic land type, then sacrifices the rest.
Oof.
Again, land sacrifice?
Here's the problem, though. Everyone wants to complain that white's so weak, but there's a whole lot of white cards on the salt list. Like, yeah, they gain you some life, they destroy your lands, get over it.
Yeah, like, what do you people want? I'm like, this is what white used to be. Like, this is what white cards were. Yeah, we don't want this.
Just be happy that you get 3 mana 1/1s for some reason.
Yeah, like, I just feel like you don't want to go back to this.
Gonna be making a mono white life gain land destruction deck.
This
land destruction tribal.
This next card was actually pretty pricey for a little bit. It was around $25 for a commander. And it was a really good salt commander. There's no other reason to play it unless you want to salt your friends. Like, this is just a flat salt commander.
Unless you're me.
No, it's
unless you're me. I've never had an issue with it because of the kinds of decks I play.
That's true. Brian, you would not like this one.
No, I definitely liked it that one time you were playing.
Oh, yeah.
And then you decided to pick up.
I made this deck as a joke.
Well, we should say what it does.
Yeah, really quickly. So I made a Gaddock Teague deck as a joke. And I was playing against someone who was trying to play the...
What does Gaddock Teague do?
1 second. First, they were trying to play Angie Falconwrath, and someone was trying to play Alesha. And I made it just like a full annoying deck. So I made it so turn 2 or 3, I put out Linvala. So no one could have activated abilities. Like, it was pretty rough, and Brian was just playing like generic zombie beaters. So he was
playing my Scarab God deck.
Yeah, Brian's over here just like
he didn't care about this, but his ability is non-creature spells with CMC 4 or greater cannot be cast, and non-creature spells with X in their cost also can't be cast.
So if you're playing a creature heavy deck, you do not care.
I had no problems with that card coming out. I was set to win the game, and then Daniel's like, "Do you know what, guys?" Like,
I stopped playing. I was like, "Yeah, I'm just being annoyed. I'm sorry, guys."
And
everyone kills Brian.
Yeah, and then Brian got gangbanged.
But my absolute favorite thing about this commander is that it is the greatest ally to my dragons.
True.
It is probably the only the only kind of deck that, other than like a super intense group hug, that can sit down at a table and be my greatest friend.
Yep.
I will protect them with all of my dragon fire
With all your
until
dragon
the day
might.
I die.
Until you can finish them off.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'll let you take the next one here, Brian.
So this one is called Epicenter. It is 4 and a red, and it's a sorcery. And you know what? It is target player sacrifices a land.
That doesn't sound so
That's
bad
not
for
so
5.
bad.
Yeah, but then it has Threshold. And you know what? I think they should really come back because Thresholds are really neat.
I love Threshold, yeah.
So Threshold is you have Threshold if 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. And this Threshold ability is all players sacrifice all lands instead.
Ouch.
Yeah, I just want to make a white-red deck, play this, and then Teferi's Protection away.
True.
See, that's
With
like,
that on this stack, I will tap 3.
Yeah.
The next one I also don't really understand as a salt card. I personally think that Gaia's Cradle has some downfalls. Number one is it cannot produce mana without a creature.
yeah. So yeah, a board white makes it absolutely useless.
It is not a good turn 1 unless you're dropping like a Memnite or something like that, Ornithopter.
Maybe people are just salty about the price.
No, the problem is that it does get out of control. Like it's generally in like an elf deck, a token. I understand
Point.
why people could be upset, and it is a price thing. If it was more accessible, I think it would be a little bit better, but like I do think that it at least out of the strong lands has a downside. Like Itlimoc does the same thing once it's flipped.
Yeah.
But still taps for a forest as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
But Itlimoc has the you have to have creatures on the board.
Yeah.
It has the precedence
To flip, yeah. So it's still a good card. I don't really understand the super salt of it, but
yeah, neither do I.
But that's okay. We didn't vote on these.
Yeah,
so.
well, and like I said last week, just because something isn't necessarily a problem in our meta doesn't mean that's not a problem in somebody else's.
Yeah,
That's very
maybe Gaia's Cradle is just running rampant.
Maybe, like we don't know. So
Impending Disaster is 1 and a red for an enchantment. During your upkeep, if there's 7 or more lands in play, sacrifice it and destroy all lands.
So I guess like with this, we're seeing a lot of land destruction cards, and like I'm kind of surprised that they're this far down.
Oh, they were up there on the list too. The whole list is land destruction, basically.
Yeah, like I would most likely see that anything land destruction.
But like I'm
like
surprised that it's not like above Omniscience
or Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah,
true.
Like Gaia's Cradle would just be gone with this.
Weird flex.
Fierce Guardianship is next, and Fierce Guardianship is a very strong card.
Very new. I'm surprised that it's on this list already. That's the.
I'm not, because of how strong it is.
Yeah. Well, it's just fast for it to be. It's a free counter spell.
Yeah.
If you control your commander, so if you don't, it's 2 and a blue to counter target non-creature spell. But if you control your commander, you don't have to pay that. So it's a 0 cost protect
counter
something.
Target non-creature spell. Yeah.
It's a pretty good card. I do
good.
understand. I'm hoping that gets a reprint. It desperately needs one.
That would be amazing because like
or you're just buying all the commander. Like that's why that one deck went up to like what, $60-$70?
Oh,
75.
yeah, they all went up. Yeah. I'm hoping that we see a lot of these in Commander Legends.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to see the whole cycle of the free spells.
I just want to crack arcane signets and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like in actual boosters, like give me somewhere I can open Soul Rings. I'll be happy, trust me.
Yo, opening Soul Rings would be awesome.
Because I can't put in a standard set.
Wizards just sent Daniel arcane signets because apparently he does not have enough.
No, I have like 5 that outside of the ones that came in Commander decks or like the other decks, I've only been able to find 4 or 5 in months.
Yeah.
I just found one the other day and I was so excited.
Yeah. Basically you find them when somebody like trades in a collection.
Yeah.
Other than that, they don't get traded. Like
no, why?
Cards that go to commander players are lost to the abyss.
Yeah, they stay with commander players.
Yeah, we don't trade in cards like that.
The next one's Ruination. And
I can only assume what it does.
Yeah, let's take a guess. It's 3 and a red. Any guesses?
Ruin.
Destroy all non-basic lands.
So,
not as bad.
Not as bad, but still
not as bad if you're playing mono red.
Yeah. Not bad if you're playing mono blue. Not bad if you're playing mono anything.
Yeah, I don't know if I would run any.
If you're playing mono blue and casting Ruination, you're cheating.
No, I mean like if you're playing.
I understand, Hope. You meant if your opponent.
Not if they have a Blood Moon, and you cast it from their hand somehow.
Sire of Insanity is the next card. It is a demon, 4 and Rakdos, for a 6/4. At the beginning of each end step, each player discards their hand.
Yeet.
Amazing.
That's pretty good.
Dare I say?
Everyone loses their hand every turn.
So I can't remember if this was brought up in the part 1, but like I'm surprised that we haven't seen the one that has like the 3 triggers on it that you go down to 5 life or 3 life or you get or every
Havoc
other
Festival.
Yeah, was it on the earlier list?
Is that Havoc Festival? No, Havoc Festival
brutality?
is you lose. Yeah, widespread brutality.
No.
Yeah.
So it's the one where every player gets 7 zombies.
Yeah, you choose one of each, and then you lose on the final one or something.
Yeah.
I think that's widespread brutality, isn't it?
I thought so.
Okay,
It could be. We don't know the card.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's on this
but
list.
I'm just like, I can't believe it's not higher up there because usually when you play it, everyone's just like,
People
or
don't
at least
really-
the one player.
I don't think that people really play Rakdos that much.
Yeah, only against it.
It's not widespread brutality. I don't know what it is.
It is not.
But I know what it looks like.
Yeah, it's stained in our brains
Yeah.
because it's just like, oh, don't cast that on me.
The next one.
I know it was mythic.
The next one is a really hard one to get around as a commander. It's a reserve list card. It's also Urza Saga
Love
because
Urza Saga.
Because of
everything
course it is.
it's Gilded Drake, and it's colorless and a blue for a flying 3/3, which is pretty good stats.
Yeah.
Yep.
When it comes into play, you exchange control of it for target creature one of your opponent's control, or you sacrifice it. So it is really, really strong. It's really good for taking a commander away from someone.
Yeah, it's a 2-drop so you can take whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing against someone that had, it was either this card or something close to it. They would play it, they would take one of my cards, and then they would bounce, they would return.
Bounce the Drake, yep.
Yeah, and then play it again, take something else of mine. I was just like, oh.
That's
okay.
basically what a rune deck does.
Well, and that's why it's so brutal. It's because it's not until it leaves the battlefield. It's not, there's no parameter. It's just,
they just take it on it. It is a very expensive card, so you don't see it too much. It's $210 basically.
Ish.
You take and you take and you take, but you never give back.
True. Overwhelming Splendor is a 1-player humility. We talked about that one last episode, but
Love
it's a
me
curse.
humility.
We know.
6 white, which is pricey.
Brian, I'm getting called out. Also, Brian, I love humility.
Creatures enchanted player controls lose all abilities and have base power toughness 1/1, but it also tacks on enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities.
Amazing.
It's really good.
So it's humility and a Limbala all in one.
Yep. It's pretty strong.
That sounds great.
Oh, this next one. Let me tell you, I got a bone to pick with this one. I'm not a fan of this card. I hate this card.
Really?
This card would be way higher. Yeah, I hate it. I don't think it's fun at all.
I love this card.
So you
but
don't
I
think it should be rated 1.85?
But I think
No.
that so the next one on the list is Elish Norn Grand Cenobite.
Why don't I read what it does?
5 and white for a 4/7. Pretty beefy body.
It's the White Praetor. It's she's got cool lore, but other than that, vigilance. Well, she does. Other creatures you control get 2/2.
And Anthem, that's pretty strong.
Pretty cool. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2.
Amazing.
That's brutal. And let me tell you, when you're sitting at a table and everybody copies the Elish Norn and all of your creatures get -6/-6 and you can't play anything.
We're playing a game, and I had an Elish Norn out. Matt had an Elish Norn out. And
Will made a copy
and
of
then
Elish
Will made
Norn.
a copy, so there's 3 on the field. Ours were just like...
I was playing a Tolsmear deck. We're just trying to have fun.
All Hope's Wolves were
Choo-choo wolves.
-6.
That would kill all the dragons too.
Almost.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Except like Dramoka. And
I want to make a white-blue deck, which is a whole bunch of copies.
Sakashima Elish Norn Tribal.
Yeah.
Helm of the Host right up on it.
Oh, don't look at me that way.
you deserve it.
I'm into it. I think that's a good one.
It's just like that comment about like, why would you make Vorinclex your commander? Who hurt you? This is Brian thinking, oh, should I make an Elish Norn deck? No, you shouldn't.
No, not an Elish Norn deck. but have it.
Sakashima
Yeah,
deck.
there you go.
Oh, but you can't do that.
The
Sakashima's blue.
Sakashima's fun. We need to do a Sakashima.
Sakasushima, more like it.
The next one's Thrasios Triton Hero.
It's just
the
competitive.
It's the boogeyman of CEDH.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks it's like super good. It's not a bad competitive commander. I don't think it's the tier 1 thing that everyone makes it up. It's not bad. It has a mana sink, which is cool. It's a Merfolk Wizard. It has Partner, and Partner is a great mechanic. I love it. I've spoken many times about how much I love it. Partner with, I think, is a little more reasonable.
Yes.
Partner was a little too broad, a little too powerful.
Yeah, well, because you could mix and match.
Yeah, so much.
Which
and
I do kind of like that.
I liked it too, but it led to unintended consequences. And a lot of the time, these partners, like you see Thrasios and Tymna the Weaver.
Yes.
And a lot of people play Tymna only for the color access, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not often the deck plan. But Thrasios is a 1/3 Merfolk Wizard for 2 mana, Simic, which is a really, really good 1/3 for 2 is a good body, and it has 4 scry 1, then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it in the battlefield tapped, otherwise draw a card. Mm-hmm. So you can basically not only get all of your lands into play, but you can draw your whole deck if you have an infinite mana generation. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good one. The next one, I do understand why people are super mad about. This has been on the Salt list for years, ever since it came out. It's made for Commander. It's Derevi, Imperial Tactician. It is Bant colors, which is green, white, blue.
Bant's so much fun.
I love Bant. It's a flying 2/3. When it enters or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you can tap or untap target permanent. And that's pretty good, but Derevi also has an ability where you can pay 4 as an ability, put him onto the battlefield from the command zone. So,
that's so cool.
Yeah,
so he gets around the commander tax always.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
when he enters, he can tap or untap permanents. So you can put him in at instant speed. So you have a commander that is better than Flash.
Yeah.
I really like that, actually. I might have to go and find
Derevi's really, really cool.
I will let Brian read the next one on the Salt list.
Oh, it's my boy Tulane.
I think this is relative, right?
Yeah.
So...
Well, Tulane is... I believe Tulane is a good... He's a good competitive / intro to competitive. We talked about it in
the casual.
Yeah, we talked about it in the episode. He's a really good deck to teach.
Go check it out. We did that.
Yeah, you can teach people a lot about stacks, triggers, priority, but he just has great abilities built in. He's very, very versatile.
Yep.
Tulane is an amazing commander.
Yeah.
So
Tulane is also in Bant colors.
I do think obviously this is on the list because of Frilled Mystic.
Yeah. so Tulane is a 2 colorless, green, white, and blue.
Bant represent.
Legendary creature, human, druid. Vigilance. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield.
So good.
Pay 3 and
aggro
tap
ramp.
it, and return creature you control to its owner's hand. So I've actually been constantly upgrading my Tulane deck. So now I believe the average CMC is 2.5 almost.
So it's so easy to cast.
Yeah, so I'm just able to constantly I think I dropped it down to 31 lands. So I'm just able to keep that creatures coming out, getting that free card draw if it's not a land. If it is a land, then great. It just allows me to continue going. But then I can abuse the the lion.
Yeah, the protection, white mane.
Yeah, white mane lion and the drake for one. Just keep bouncing them.
Frilled Mystic, exactly that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, and the counter spells, and then pay 3, bring it back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tulane is a very versatile and very strong commander. I personally think it's the strongest from the Brawl set.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Korvold was an instant CDH one, but Korvold outside of competitive play he's okay.
I was just going to say, Korvold is good in that context.
Yeah, Korvold's good with food chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But short of that,
Tulane is versatile.
I have a Korvold deck. It is not good. It is bad, and I've never enjoyed playing it because it just doesn't... It's meant to be a competitive deck, and I wanted to build it as a fun sacrifice deck, and it just doesn't work very well.
Stupid.
It's probably one of my worst decks I've built.
It's the worst Jund build that you could build.
Yeah, it's it is not King of the Jundigal.
The Jundigal?
Yeah.
That's my boy Karthus.
The next one is Teferi, Master of Time, and again, this is a new one. he's got some pretty cool abilities. 35 different artworks.
Yep.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
That's exactly accurate. I counted.
So it's 2 blue for a planeswalker that starts at 3 loyalty. You can activate loyalty abilities of him on any player's turn anytime you could cast an instant. So in a 4-player pod, like, you can cast him.
He's up to 7.
Yeah. He's up to 7 on the first one. He needs to be answered. His +1 draw card, discard a card is great.
Awesome.
Basically, you're looting. -3 target creature you don't control phases out, so really good protection. I always say that having protection on a planeswalker is very strong and that you should judge them by their first 2. See what they are. Those are worth inclusion.
And it's nice to know that somebody tries to hit it, you just do that on
exactly.
their
you
turn.
phase it out, yes. But it's -10 is where it really shines because you take 2 extra turns after this one.
Yeah.
Not 1, not 2.
2.
Yeah. I was
gonna say 4 with Rings of Brighthearth.
I do not enjoy cards that allow extra turns.
But also, like, consider, like, if you had a chain veil,
Brian.
also.
Yeah.
Remember what I was like? You're not gonna like the deck I'm making.
Oh God.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything about it, but there might be a few extra turns in it. It'll be interesting though.
No.
This one is I actually have the.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you finish. Go ahead.
No, that's fine.
No, please, after you.
No, I was gonna talk about this, but you clearly.
Go ahead.
To say.
No.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I don't really have an issue with this card because it's kind of a game ender.
Yeah.
So I was actually gonna say the same thing.
Get out of my head.
I feel the opposite. I feel about Cyclonic Rift with this. I hate Cyclonic Rift.
Because
I've made
it's
that
slow.
clear. A lot of time it's that. Nobody casts Craterhoof unless they're trying to kill the table.
Yeah.
They're giving it a valiant attempt. They've done
And if it gets countered, fine.
They've done some math in their head, and they know the Triumph of the Hordes is going to go on top.
They've done the math in their head.
Yeah.
No, they haven't. They've done it out loud. How many blockers do you have? What's your life?
Yeah, I have 85 plant tokens.
What's your life?
Craterhoof is a 5/5 beast with haste.
And it's
for 8 mana.
Yeah, 5 and 3
big
green.
Boy mana cost.
But it's green. Who cares?
When it enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and get XX until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control.
Yes.
This is possibly one of the strongest ETB effects in green.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why it's on this list at all.
Yeah, I
have no idea. Unless people are salty because
they lost.
Well,
the guy wanted to win.
My other thing is the Paradox Engine ban is a good example of another thing like this. The Craterhoof doesn't function by itself. You can't cast Craterhoof and win. It's not an 8 mana win the game.
No.
You need to have something
board
else.
State.
Yeah, you have to have a board state set up. You have to have other things. You can't just have you can't have an Atraxa and a Craterhoof and
and win.
Yeah, this is
my creatures get +2/+2.
+2/+2 and trample.
Yeah, you have to have it set up. People can respond, and you can wipe the board in response to it on the stack, and it's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
But yeah, the game has to end. That's so funny. What's under it? As an X card?
Yeah, we'll let you read that one.
Oh wow, right under it as well.
Wow, what a call out.
Do you see what's under that one?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So all these cards just seem to be going
so
together.
Funny.
But
we're going one at a time on the list, and we just scroll to the next one, and it's Atraxa.
That is amazing.
the girl's on here. She's famous.
She's perfect. I love her. She's beautiful and she's perfect, and I have nothing bad to say about her. Next.
Atraxa.
She's a 4-cost 4/4.
She's a literal angel.
She's a literal angel. She's a 4-cost 4/4. But it's 1 green, 1 white, blue, and
Black.
A black. And she also has cool lore. So she's got flying, vigilance, death touch, and lifelink. Very cool. And at the beginning of your end step, prolive the rate.
Prolive the rate is cool.
So it's pretty sweet because you can get really big, really hard. You can build the deck with 1/1s. You can build it with Infect. You can build it with Super Friends.
Very versatile.
Yeah, she gives you lots of options, especially with all of the support that Proliferation has gotten in the last year or two.
This is generally the Planeswalkers deck. That's what most people use it for.
I don't, because I'm not a bad person, but you can.
Most people do.
You can Super Friends that mofo.
It's pretty strong no matter how you build it, though. Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink is strong abilities.
I go hard commander damage.
It's a 4/4 for 4.
Yeah.
It has all those abilities.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to play because of the specific colors that you need. You have to get really lucky early game to be able to get her out at a good time. But, you can also just build up your board otherwise. It's not a big deal.
What I was laughing about was the card right under it, though.
Yeah, that we definitely were talking about.
Triumph of the Hordes. 2 green, until end of turn, creatures you control get 1/1, trample, and infect. And again, I don't mind it. It's meant to end the game.
I got my booty smacked with it.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes it be like that.
I think we've all gotten our booty smacked with it.
This was last stream that we did after Riku for real on Instagram.
Oh yeah, he did. He
For
went hard.
real.
He tried. He was Pathbreaker Ebex with Triumph of the Hordes.
Oh,
Yeah.
He came strong.
Yeah, what, the Savala deck? Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, it was really good. Pathbreaker Ebex, so good. But yeah, I understand why this is salty. People don't like the infect because it's so easy to kill with infect, but there's so little support for infect. Like, there's lots of proliferation, but generally infect isn't really a viable strategy. You get mass targeted immediately, and
100%.
yeah, like even like if you have one thing, Brian's Yawgmoth deck had a infect thing, and just trying to proliferate it makes everyone swing at you.
Yeah. Well, something rats.
Yeah.
And yeah, something rats.
Ichor rats, maybe?
Yeah, Ichor rats, and it puts a poison counter on every single player. And then you can, with Yawgmoth, you could proliferate the poison counters. So as soon as I started doing that, I think I got up to 4 before everyone wanted to kill me. It was not a fun time.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things with regards to infect, that we talked about how I still think that it should be a higher count for
not 10
to kill you. Yeah, I think it should be 20. But I understand.
Are we boring you, Hope?
Yeah, you are.
Take a breath if you're yawning.
No, I can't. I don't know. I get it.
It's early.
I'm just a sleepy girl at any given time. It doesn't matter what time of day, early or not. Anyways, just because I think that it should be 20. But the thing about infect, I think the reason that it hasn't really been affected too much, and nobody's really changed the rules, is because A, it's not super played, but B,
but whenever you do hear someone that goes, "Oh, let me play my infect," everybody
targets them, and that's.
Ugh.
But everybody targets them.
Yep.
They die.
I don't want -1/-1 counters on my boys.
Let me just
Or
quickly
on me.
slot in Sun Cleanser,
Yeah.
the card that's good for nothing else.
I hate it.
I love Sun Cleanser.
So annoying.
Force of Will is the next one. Great card.
Sweet reprint, am I right?
5 mana
Babies.
instant. You can pay 1 life and exile a blue from your hand rather than paying its cost. Counter target spell. A very, very classic, strong counter spell.
So classic.
It is a classic one. It's very old. It's very good, though. Still sits
So
at around
old.
$100. You still have to have,
More
Kind of surprising.
in Canada.
just for the base one?
Yeah.
I don't think it was 100. I would be
No.
wrong. I don't work at a store, so I have no.
Yeah, we just got one the other day and it was $200. I think the
Oof.
reason
Which
is
artwork?
this one.
No.
Woof.
People like Therese Nielsen's art.
I think the reason is because it's not going to be printed in that artwork again.
That's
I think
fair.
the
Yeah, that's
reason
very
it's-
true. Yeah.
The next one is a card that goes with Solemnity. Obviously, Solemnity is things can't have counters put on them. Decree of Silence is the other side of the combo, and it's on the salt list. 6 blue for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, counter it and put a depletion counter on Decree of Silence. If there's 3 or more counters on it, sack it. And then you can cycle it for 6, and if you do, you counter a spell.
I would be instantly scooping if I saw Solemnity in this card.
A lot of
Yeah.
people do stuff like that, but everyone just needs to start running Boseiju in every deck. Boseiju, who shelters all. Pay 2 life for a colorless mana. If it's used for instant or sorcery, can't be countered.
Huh, interesting. And I guess then if
Show
you have
them an
Destiny Spinner, Divinity Spinner.
Yeah. Show them an uncounterable. Yeah, and Destiny Spinner's really good. Just bust Allosaurus Shepherd out. That's all you need. Green spells can't be countered.
Yep.
Hell
That
yeah.
song's real strong.
Yep. That's
That
very true.
card,
Song. Are you tired?
apparently.
Are we boring you?
The next one's one of Brian's favorite cards.
This goes in every single white deck I own.
I mean,
and-
as it should.
Yeah, and it's Teferi's Protection. It is 2 and a white, and until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you have protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. And then exile Teferi's Protection. So I guess I started playing this card wrong, because I essentially said that I phased out, but technically I'm still there. I can still be attacked. Mm-hmm. So, and the way that we figured that out was when we were playing the Mega Bowl, actually. No, Sphere's Protection, way too much for that budget.
It'd be a different one.
But there was a card that forced everyone to attack. Mm-hmm. I to Furied Protection. So someone's like, oh, I don't have to swing into the guy that has all of these blockers that can kill my stuff.
You just
I'll
swing
at Brian. Brian takes no damage.
He has protection from it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So he lucked out with that one. But I was like, technically, I didn't know that I could actually still be targeted.
Yeah. You're still 100% a legal target. You just can't be damaged. You protect.
You can't be targeted either. You have protection from everything. You can be attacked.
Sorry, that's what I mean.
True.
You are a legal target for an attack.
That's very true.
Yes.
The next
can't be targeted, but you are a target.
The next is
so confusing.
No target demographic.
For
only targets.
Only targets. For a lot of people, the Titans in general are salt cards.
Be way up there. Way up there.
Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre.
Yep.
11 mana. Expensive. It's 11 mana.
Indestructible. Annihilator 4. When you cast it, destroy target permanent. When it's put in the graveyard from anywhere, it's shuffled. Only exile will stop this monstrosity.
Anything with Annihilator should be further up this.
Disagree.
I don't think anything with Annihilator's been on the list either.
It has lands.
Here's the thing.
Well,
you have to choose it.
Yeah, you choose.
And here's the other thing. Run more exile.
Why are you getting so sassy over there?
Because it's personal.
We're about to throw down her.
Personal, baby.
Because you run this monstrosity?
Yeah.
And
Animar baby.
Baby. But here's the thing. Like I said, run more exile. Run removal.
I do.
Take care.
That's not actually viable advice. That's terrible advice.
So, well, that's my attack.
Green doesn't have an exile creature.
I'm attacking Brian, okay?
Yeah. Well, we know Brian's playing white, of course.
Yeah. He's fine.
Yeah.
But my thing is that when you play Eldrazi, you're in the exact same position as if you're playing Infect. You are number one target.
There's just significantly more support. They're way harder to get rid of. They make everyone sack their board when you swing.
You have to get there, though.
Most times I don't have creatures to sacrifice when these things hit the board.
Yeah, but they have to hit the board.
There's someone it's really hard to get them out. There was a theoretical card, totally doesn't exist, Elvish Piper. Just pay 1 green to put it out. Someone made a fake box topper, Sneak Attack. Oh no, those are both real cards.
Where
you can get them in real easy.
I'm just saying that it still has to be done. And the second that I pull out an Animar deck, even if it,
I feel you. I love
even if
the
somebody's
Eldrazi.
never seen it before, they probably are just going to assume that it's an Eldrazi deck, and I just get hard targeted.
If I had an extra one, this would go in the Innet deck. It's an odd mana cost. I would love to cast it, but I only have a finite number of the
Titans?
infinite Gyres. Thank you, Hope. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I understand where you're coming from.
What? I'm on your side.
No, Brian.
I like them.
Sorry, I was looking at Brian. Oh, this is an audio format? You can't tell who I'm looking at?
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Wow. I'm your friend.
The next one is Thoughts of Ruin. 2 red, and this is a card that would actually make me have a brain aneurysm because I put draw in every deck. Each player sacks a land for each card in your hand. So for me, I would do it, and everyone would have to sack their whole hand, or their whole
field
of lands because I always have 40 cards. Yeah, I'm sitting there miming hens.
What are these?
Wake of Destruction is a salt looking card. Destroy target land and all lands with the same name as that land.
Oof.
Non-basic lands or mountains. Mountain.
Red Splinter.
Splinter should be on the list for sure.
Splinter should be on the list.
But no one knows. No one knows the
dark magic.
No one knows the dark magic, and I'm not explaining what Splinter is. I'm not bringing that negativity into your play group.
We're back into Ulamog town.
Ulamog again.
This is way worse Ulamog.
When you cast it, exile 2 permanents for 1 less mana.
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
This is BFZ Ulamog. This Ulamog is Millamog.
Still indestructible, yeah. Whenever it attacks, defending player exiles the top 20 cards of his or her library.
I'm fine with that.
I saw someone who was playing the whole point of their deck was to have infinite combats. So they had Aggravated Assault out, like a bunch of mana rocks to ramp up to this. And somebody had put the Curse of Bounty, whatever the green curse is, where you untap all non-land permanents every time that player's attack, they put it on themselves so they could keep casting Angus Mackenzie. And he just kept swinging with Ulamog and Exile the library. And the person just lost their mind. They got so mad they picked up. We didn't play with him for a while. Evan, I love you. But yeah, it was a really funny game.
Sweet prince.
It was, but yeah, and Exile the top 20 is pretty hurt.
It's a lot. That's a lot of cards. Yeah. And they don't go to their graveyard, they go to exile.
It's true.
It's not traditional mill.
It's not
exile.
mill. It's Exile, the top 20.
Oh, yeah. No, never mind.
Wheel of Sun and Moon ain't saving you here, Brian.
Yeah, try.
I have a problem
Just
with this.
try me.
I was going to say, I was very shocked.
I was like, yeah, cool. Brian's cool with it.
Well, no, when you said
Brian's
mill,
cool,
mill.
everybody.
When I hear
Brian's
mill,
cool,
I'm
everybody.
fine with it. But when I'm hearing exile,
Brian said he's cool, everybody.
no.
The next card doesn't deserve to be on this
never
list
been cool.
because it is the best white card currently to exist.
And also, if it gets out of hand, it's your own fault.
Yep.
And also, I have them all.
Yeah. First
That's not
off,
true.
I've got to say, I love the flavor text. I await your donation.
Eat.
It's Smothering Ties, 3 and a white. Whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If that player doesn't, you create a token for a treasure token that has tap, sack, add 1 mana of any color. It's great card for white. White needs that ramp.
Especially if you're blowing up lands.
But they're also quite interactable though. Like when you consider they are artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
And you can you can use them.
And you can pay 2.
Yeah. You don't have to not pay the 2. I just never pay
I
the
just
2.
refuse.
Yeah. I won't be a
I'd
part of
rather
that.
die.
Do you know what's terrible? I usually, the games that I have the most treasures, I usually have like the enchantments that lock down artifacts.
Yeah, I don't know why you have a Stony Silence in that deck. Brian's always
What?
like, he has Stony Silence in his Selvala deck, and then he's just like, Smothering Tithe? I'll make everyone draw. I have 80 treasures. And everyone's like, okay.
Yeah.
Weird flex, Brian.
But then I just blow up my own Stony Silence.
I was gonna say you're just trying to be a threat. I identify as a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Oh, then the really bad thing is when I get out like Greater Oromancy and
It's
I
so
can't blow up my
bad.
own stuff.
It's so bad.
The next card, Mana Breach. Whenever a player plays a spell, they return a land he or she controls to its owner's hand.
Hey, I have that in my Tulane deck.
That's a good card.
That's why Tulane is on the list.
That's a really good card in Tulane. It's very good in Tachova as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tachova.
Tachova.
She's in there as well.
Kinnan Bonder Prodigy.
This is another new one. This is from Ikoria. It's another
Very strong.
competitive,
Commander.
infinite mana.
You know what though? I
kinda
don't think it's
gen.
that. I don't think it's that bad. It needs.
I've seen this one go off a
needs
few
setup.
times.
It's a very cool card, and it can for sure get out of hand. He's a Simic Commander, so again a green and blue for a 2/2 human druid, which is good. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type it produced. So that's a great card for like it turns your birds tapping into 2 mana. Awesome card. It also has a mana sink for 5 green blue. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can put a non-human creature from among them onto the battlefield. The rest on the bottom in a random order.
Yep.
Oh, so what? You can put out an Ulamog with that?
Yeah, pretty good.
But that would be put, not cast.
Yep, so you wouldn't get the cast, but you would be able to get them. It's very cool. It is a more competitive-y commander, and I do think that they're trying to... I think that they've seen that there's a CDH following, so they're trying to make a little bit of both.
Yeah, they're trying to...
Because you don't have to play Kinnan as a competitive commander. He could
You don't
still
have to
just
play
be
it
a
as a
fun one.
commander.
That's true.
You can just
very
slot
true.
it into any deck that has blue and green.
Yeah.
Got a little moment.
We have another Titan,
Wow.
Kozilek, Butcher of Truth.
But this is, again, Spency boy. Anyways, Kozilek, this Kozilek, OG Kozilek is when you cast it, draw 4. It's got Annihilator 4.
Gross.
And it's a 12/12.
And it's a 12/12, and it resets your graveyard when it hits a graveyard.
It's pretty strong. The draw 4 on cast is pretty strong.
Yeah, the draw
You get-
4 and cast.
You get a 10/10 for 12 or a 12/12 for 10 mana, already a pretty strong stat, and then you add draw 4,
I think the other Kozilek is a little bit more
and then you add Annihilator 4.
reasonable. I think the other Kozilek is the most reasonable of all the Titans.
I would say
Is
so.
that the one that's like the counter if you
Yeah.
discard
Yeah.
it?
And
Yeah,
it's
I'm
got
fine
like
with that one.
Menace,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it's pretty. And you have to have colorless mana to cast it.
Yeah, so little. He makes a cool commander.
Not any
actually.
color.
Yeah,
Colorless.
I've seen him as a commander.
Yeah,
It's
with
pretty
the
neat.
wastes, I think he's a pretty cool one.
Yes, that's neat.
Acid Rain is how you make make it so I don't want to play with you. I say as I play Boil.
Daniel.
Boil is the islands version of this, but Acid Rain is 3 and a blue. For a sorcery, destroy all forests in play. Don't like that.
No, neither do I.
Don't like that one bit.
Majority of my decks are green.
And for anyone wondering, it's from Legends. Go to your LGS.
Yeah. Skrithix the Blight Dragon is the Infect commander of choice.
Yeah, oh, well, if you're going to do it, just do it.
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
they just reprinted it, so, like, what a great opportunity. It's in Double Masters. Just go hard, boys.
Number 1, he's a 4/4 flying Infect, Dragon Skeleton.
Dragon Skeleton. How heavy metal is that? He's so cool.
You can pay 1 to give him haste until the end of the turn, and you can 1 black, sorry.
Yeah.
And you can pay 2 black to regenerate him, so very strong.
So he's, like, impossible to kill, and he's handsome and beautiful and poisonous.
I want to know how he flies when he just has nubs.
His nub flies. I have actually
Don't
really...
worry about it.
The next card on the list is Divine Intervention, which is another Legends card. And I have a very, very funny story about this. There's a competitive circuit where we live. And you get points for winning. Obviously. That's how most tournaments run. You get no points in this one, though, if you do not win. Only the winner gets points.
Mm-hmm.
As it should.
Someone in that meta plays Divine Intervention as their main con. And it's 6 white. Put 2 counters on this card. Then they use things like Vampire Hex Mage. It's put two counters on this card, remove a counter during your upkeep. When you remove the last counter from it, the game is over and considered a draw. And it makes so many people so frustrated. I think it's the funniest thing. It's hilarious as a deck archetype.
No points.
It's just meant to like draw it out. So his whole thing, like it's a lot of generate infinite mana, and then everybody draws their whole deck at once. Everyone loses at once. His whole point is to everyone draw the game, and it's
nobody gets
the
points
funniest
ever.
deck archetype I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
Wow.
What a ding dong! That's
amazing.
Hysterical.
It's so funny because it just. When people, like I said, they're playing for points, you get 1 when you win, and that's how you move on. So he puts the whole pod out of the running.
That's pretty messed up.
It's hilarious. And it oftentimes makes it so that there's one person gets a bye in the finals.
That would be kind of cool, like if you were like kind of new and going out and whatever, and then like you were able to like kind of get up a little higher than you might normally be able to, because this guy is just like, I got you, homie.
It's a pretty funny deck. And it's a lot of it is like, a ton of it is shutting down everyone else from winning until he can draw the game.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Love it.
I mean, it's respectable for the memes.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Agent of Treachery is the next one.
This is my Tulane deck.
Yes, this is in Hope's Tulane deck. It's a human rogue, 2/3.
Tulane deck everywhere.
5 blue. When it enters, gain control of target permanent. A very strong ETB. Beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't control, draw 3 cards.
Oh, and you flash it, you bring them back to your hand. Oh.
And it's not one of the till it leaves the battlefield.
Yeah.
You just get it. Take Daniel's commander, make him mad.
It's also target permanent, not target non-land permanent, so you can just
take somebody's
their
lands.
Like an animal.
I would never.
That's great.
Boil is one that I just alluded to, and it's...
Alluded to? You specifically explained what it did.
I alluded to it. It's an instant speed one, which is a little better than Acid Rain. But it is Destroy All Islands.
And it's 3 in a red.
Yes. And it's awesome.
Yeah, that... I counter your stuff. Oh, you're not to like my next card.
That's crazy.
Interesting. The next card, Consecrated Sphinx, and I love this card.
I don't
think
understand
it's so
why
good.
it's on the salty list.
Probably because of just how strong its ability is in Commander specifically.
That's very true.
Because it's whenever an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2 cards. So you're not forced to draw. If you were forced to draw, it wouldn't upset people so much because you could accidentally draw yourself out. But the fact that you can choose to draw, so everyone's turn starts, I'm going to draw 2 with you. I'm going to draw 2 with you.
I love this in my Xyrus deck, or Xyrus, however people want to pronounce it.
So good.
Oh,
yes.
You're going to draw 6 cards in your upkeep. I will draw 12.
I too.
It's I honestly think it's a great card. I think it's very balanced at its mana cost of 6 mana for a 4/6 flyer.
Yep.
You should have creature removal in your deck, and it's getting draw. It definitely should be included. Draw's so important in Magic.
Everything.
Yeah, and if you're not building around something like this, you're just going to end up with 20 cards in your hand that you can't use anyways.
Yeah.
And discard them.
Oof. So the next one,
Yeah.
I absolutely hate land destruction.
I want to put this in Trin and
hate.
Silver. I just want you to know.
Gross. So, but it's not a human, so good track.
But
Good
it's
try.
a soldier, because that's the sub-theme of mine.
So Keldon Fire Bombers is 3 and a red creature soldier. And when Keldon Fire Bomber comes into play, each player sacrifices all lands he or she controls except for 3. So I find it weird that you like these cards, but you don't like...
Brian, I have to read the errata. It is a human soldier now.
Ugh.
Let her ride.
No.
Feed the cat.
I find it funny that you prefer these cards and you don't like Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah, I don't know.
Daniel's a complicated man.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's slow. Cyclonic Rift slows the game down, but destroying your lands doesn't.
Me, I'm gonna boil followed by killed and firebombs.
I hate both.
Yeah, very good point.
You know what? I'm consistent.
Palinchron is the next
may or
card
may
on the
not
list.
be the reason that I play Eldrazi.
Palinchron is infinite mana generator combo for a lot of people. It's a really, really cool card. It has a really unique ability. So it's 7 mana to cost. It's 5 blue, 4/5 flyer. When it comes into play, on tap up to 7 lands, and it has a built-in bounce for 4 mana. So it's pretty awesome that way. Mm-hmm. If you have a way to, if your mana taps for 2 and you have 7 mana out, then you can just continuously get them in.
Yeah, you can do it infinitely. You can also, the way that I do it is with the Animar,
the cost reduction.
Yeah, and the Cloudstone Curio.
Yeah.
That's
really you don't even need the Cloudstone Curio at a certain point, yeah.
I know, but it's nice to just do it for free.
This is a fun card as well. Mana Vortex. It's an enchantment.
Why does blue need...
It's a mana enchantment that Zur can go fetch. It's 1 blue, 3 cost. Each player who controls land sacks 1 during their upkeep. If at any time there are no lands in play, it's destroyed. If you do not sack a land when it's cast, it's countered.
I don't get it. Why is this only this far down? It should be a lot higher on this list.
Probably because it's so...
rarely played?
Yeah. It isn't like... when you cast it, you have to sack a land. So if you fetch it with Zur, you actually skip that first land.
Oh, because it's not being cast.
Yeah.
That's
Does
a good point.
Pretty
Does Zur
cool.
put?
Yep. Bribery, hilarious card. Bribery should be played. Bribery is actually one of the reasons Primeval Titan is banned.
Oh.
Because it was played so frequently to go pull out Primeval Titan and Old Emrakul.
Oh, interesting. So Bribery is 3 and a blue. Search target opponent's library for a creature card and put that card into play under your control. Then that player shuffles his or her library.
Pretty good.
So I get to steal anything from your deck, is basically.
The next one, yeah, I like it a lot. The next one's Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. Just got a reprint. Great reprint, I think.
I love
so
the
pretty.
art.
8 CMC for a Planeswalker starting at 7. Very high.
Yep.
+2 deals 3 damage to any target. Sorry, I couldn't read that there. It's too fancy with its artwork.
-X is exile each permanent with CMC costs X or less. That's 1 or more colors.
Oof.
Very on theming with his story.
Yeah.
And then -10 is you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, then put up to 7 permanents from your hand onto the battlefield.
Oof.
Yeah, he is very strong.
I've only ever got it off once.
Like, that's
so hard.
That's amazing. I really like that ability.
Yeah. People do not let it happen.
Are you putting that in your new deck?
What? Me?
Yeah, the one you're making.
No, that's
Mortal
anti.
Enemies?
Yeah, no.
The next one,
Confusion
one
in the ranks.
one of my favorite cards to cast. I love this card. This is such a good card. Confusion, and I understand entirely. It's 100% justified being on this list. I love this card.
Do you think it deserves to be further up, or where it is fine?
If you read it, it deserves to be here. If you've played against it, it should be spot 1 or 2. Especially if you've ever played it against it with Norn the Wary. Confusion in the ranks is 3 red enchantment. Whenever an artifact, creature, or enchantment comes into play, its controller chooses target permanent another player controls, shares the type with it, and you exchange control.
Oh, I've been on the receiving end of this.
You had Norn the Wary do it, right?
Yeah.
Where every time someone casts something, Norn reblinks to my field, and I take another permanent of theirs.
Yep.
I love it. It's so funny. I'm in the wrong on this one for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to admit my own mistakes.
I mean, funny. It can be something can be funny and also annoying and make me want to kill you.
Oh, for sure. This is like if you ever
magic.
Things could be two things.
If you want to make your friends mad, make a token deck with this. And
make a Norn the Wary deck.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so freaking annoying.
Someone we were talking about it in the Discord, and someone's like, "Is there a way to make that deck that isn't just annoying?"
And Daniel's like,
I was like, I don't know.
Daniel has left the chat.
Yeah. listen, guys, I've got to go.
Here's the thing, guys. I've got to leave this Discord server.
Here's a card that I've spoken about many times today. Zur the Enchanter. He is 1 and Esper, so that's white, blue, black. He's a human wizard, flying 1/4, which is awesome. When he attacks, you may search your library for an enchantment with CMC 3 or less and put it onto the battlefield. If you do, shuffle. Zur's very, very strong.
Yeah, a lot of those Mino enchantments that we've been talking about today and last week are fetchable with Zur. So
yeah, there's a lot of 3-cost targets. That
well, especially since
so
it's on
good.
Attack.
Yep.
So
Zur's
you can
OP.
attack, and if somebody tries to do something, you can adjust your search to kind of like fit the situation. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Zur's just it's really strong.
The next card should not have been rare.
Should have been mythic.
Yep, it's Golos
agree.
Tireless Pilgrim, 5
I
mana.
can see that.
Yeah, he deserved to be mythic, but Golos Tireless Pilgrim is just first off a great card. We've talked many times throughout many episodes. He helms so many decks. I have a turbo land deck with him. One of my favorite decks to teach people with is Golos because he mana fixes so well. You can build in the win condition with the Maze's End so easy, so budget friendly. On enter, he searches your library for a land and puts it into play tapped. Then shuffle any land, so he color fixes whatever you need to do. And then he has a mana sink that's 2 in Wooburg. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. What'd you say?
I said woo.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Sorry.
Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana cost. So he is great. He can hit lands with that. Like, Golos is just an overall great card. I don't think he should be a salt card.
I'm amazed by the variety of decks that you can actually build with him.
Yeah, he's
I was
so-
taking
Oh, yeah.
a look at the EDH Rec
Oh,
last night.
the archetype is just
It's
enormous.
everything. The archetype
Yeah.
options are everything for
Yeah,
Golos.
like it's amazing.
It's anything and everything, and it's awesome.
I do hate the next card, Aura Shards.
oh,
I hate it.
I hate it.
I love it.
Hate it. Aura Shards is 1 and Selesnya, green-white. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. It is oppressive.
Yeah,
Wow.
it just keeps everything
And
that you don't want
impressive.
on the board off the board.
It's really good. 1 March of the Multitude or Secure the Waste is enough to just clear your opponents out. It's
Absolutely annihilate
wicked, yeah.
somebody's Selvala deck.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
true.
whose, but somebody's.
My favorite is the Tender Shoot Dryads, which is every turn you get a new Saproling. So every time that Saproling comes in, you're like,
Wow.
boom,
This
boom.
Bing, beep, beep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next card on the list is Demonic Consultation, and Demonic Consultation is a
Combo
competitive.
piece.
Yeah, it's a competitive combo piece. So I don't know why it's on the list so much. Number 1, I love this card because this card can lose you the game. You can flat out lose on cast of this
And
card.
it's so funny.
Hilarious. Demonic Consultation is an instant for 1 black. Name a card. So let's say I name Food Chain. I remove the top 6 cards of my library from the game and reveal the next card to all players. If it's the named card, it comes to my hand. If not, I remove that card from the game, and I continue until I get it. So if Food Chain is in the top 6 when I name it,
You kill yourself.
I will exile my deck and lose. And it's instant speed, so many times people are doing this before their turn starts.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a lot of people try and exile to Thassa's Oracle and exile their deck that way if they have the Oracle in hand. Same kind of thing, but there is a real chance you can lose the game with it. And every time I cast it, I say it's time to consult the demons. Then I sit there and I say, "Hey demons, it's me, your boy." And I grab 6 and I throw them down to sea. And if they're not there, if Food Chain's in there, then I cry.
I'm
It's
not too much.
a good card, but
The next one's Catastrophe.
Yeah,
It's a white card.
Catastrophe is real strong.
And it's 4 and a white. Again, Urza Saga, because a lot of strong cards came from there.
Yep.
And it's destroy all lands. or all creatures destroyed this way cannot regenerate this turn. Like, just I like that it gives you an or.
It's
so
pretty solid.
Don't have to destroy all the lands.
Just rude.
Yeah.
We're gonna end on the next two here. There's another row after this, but actually I'm gonna do an honorable mention from the bottom row quickly. It's Grip of Chaos. It's 4 red for an enchantment. Whenever a spell or ability is put onto the stack, reselect its target at random if it has a single target.
Oh, it's from Scourge.
Yeah,
like
that's a pretty fun one. I like that personally, but I like chaos things, so
Same.
I wouldn't be salty about it.
I do like chaos. I'm the biggest proponent for chaos. I just think that there's something so inherently amusing about
All right,
it.
last two, and the last one on the list, real doozy, and I need to buy one. It's a card I don't have for once.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll let Brian go with this black enchantment here.
So this actually seems like it could go good in Yawgmoth. So it's Tainted Aether, 2 and a black. Whenever a creature comes into play, its controller sacrifices a creature or a land.
Kind of on. It's on brand.
It's pretty good for Marin again too, something like that. Marin, any Sultai, this would be great for Muldrotha style things.
Yeah, totally.
You sack your land, you replay the land and have it untapped.
And the final.
Yeah, the final one, Land Equilibrium, which I have never, in all of the time I've played Magic, seen someone play this card. I would have a stroke if somebody played this against me because I love to land ramp. It's like one of my favorite things. I would lose my mind, and that's why I need to buy the card. It's 2 blue. If an opponent controls at least as much land as you do, he or she must sack a land for each land they put into play.
That's amazing.
That's strong. Especially with Zendikar coming out, like when they're going back to Zendikar and having all the new land ramp.
Landfall, land ramp.
Yeah, this will shut that landfall nonsense down real quick.
Did they confirm they're bringing back landfall?
They didn't say landfall, just a bunch of land-based mechanics. It's Zendikar.
I mean, this landfall, baby.
Yeah. I'm sure Zendikar will something land.
Something landfall, maybe Golgarian.
We've seen
Give me expeditions. I'll help you find.
Oh.
We've seen the packs. There's Omnath with another color of mana. We get it. Omnath in the sky. Choir music.
With flying.
Yeah, just Omnath with flying. Omnath 5/5 for 4 flying.
He has no cool abilities.
Yeah, just flying. So
thank you guys so much for tuning in to the second part of our salt list.
Landfall creates 4/4 angels. Elemental angels. Elemangels.
That would be pretty strong.
That would be hilarious also.
That'd be too strong.
Yep.
Love it. Anyways,
landfall,
guys.
No, since it's white, landfall will gain 3 life.
Again, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd be all right with that too. That's pretty good.
Alrighty, guys. Well, like we said, it was very fun to be able to go through the last half of this list with Brian because he is the king of playing Slug.
Yeah, Brian has a lot of these cards in his decks. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Brian's just like, what's the problem?
And hence why I'm dead first all the time.
Not all the time. Either you're dead first or you win, and there's no in between with you, my dude.
It's true.
That's very true.
You know what? I respect that. I respect a man that really sticks to his guns.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah,
make sure to check out our streams when we do play on Saturdays right now. We have lots of articles coming out on a weekly basis. Mm-hmm. We have video content. Check out what's going on. Go to our website, www.intothe99.com. We have lots of things going on.
Yeah, and links to all of our socials there.
And actually, right now, we're actually recording this on a Thursday.
Yeah, we are.
But just it might be a little bit late, but Necrozach, our new host, just uploaded his first video.
Yeah, so definitely take a look at it.
Yeah, and thank you again for joining the team, Zach.
Yes, I'm very pleased. He's putting in awesome work. And
we have an awesome team that we work with in
we're really
general.
lucky.
And again, check out our website with all our different writers putting up articles. Lots of different things going on. And if you have anything that you think that you would want to share with the community, definitely feel free to send us an email or hit us up on any of the social media, and we'll definitely take a look at any articles that you might want to
Absolutely. We're always interested in hearing from guest writers.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.